If you're watching the replay, go ahead and fast forward to 90 seconds. Just 90 seconds and we'll get started. What's up, Deck? What's going on, Alex? Let me clear that. There we are. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? What's up, Daniel? How's it going? Happy Thanksgiving to all. And to all a nice November. Rest of November. Well, the Suns aren't awful. How about that? What's good, brother? How's it going? It is hot here. Where are you at, Daniel? Hello. We will start in about 45 seconds now. Where have I been? I missed Talking Suns. Well, 2 weeks ago, I don't remember exactly what it was, but then last week Fort Lauderdale. I was just there 2 summers ago. And then last week it was because the Suns are playing, so I don't compete with the Suns. When they've got a game on. And on occasion I will try to then just move the show to Tuesday, but sometimes just it can't work out. I have to have a babysitter. I've got to get things organized and situated, and Mondays are always just like good, unless there's something up. You know what? I'm pretty sure 2 weeks ago one of us was sick. I think that's what it was. So I know it's been a couple of weeks, but I'm back. I ain't going anywhere. I try not to compete with the Suns. Yes, Blake Griffin is still flopping, and with that, welcome to Valley of the Suns Live, the weekly edition. My name is Adam Maines. I'm your host. I'm your site editor. I'm your friend of the Sun. Welcome all. Hey, brother, I'm from Pittsburgh. My brother's a Bucks fan. That was one of the favorite games ever because the Suns won. No, I didn't get arrested. They can't catch me. I'm too fast. Blake, okay, so I do want to open up with Blake Griffin. And that's awesome, by the way. Pittsburgh, I love it that we've got fans all over the country, all over the world. I love it. I love you all. I do this for you. And it's just so awesome to connect with so many Suns fans all over the place. Our lack of a point guard is evident in the fourth quarter. Okay, so that is my second topic. I do want to just briefly touch on Blake Griffin. So I just want to know, who does he remind you of? And by the way, we just started, but please go ahead and please heart, please like, please retweet, please text everyone you know. We are here for an hour. And so long as battery survives on the cameras, then I usually hit double overtime. So, who does Blake Griffin remind you more of? Dennis Rodman or Manu Ginobili? Because yesterday, that was one of the sorriest displays of consistent... It wasn't just flopping. It was... No offense to European soccer fans. Because I am a soccer fan. But, great Bucks game. Enough to get me through another 10 to 15 losses. That's hilarious. Well, you might not be that far off there, but he reminded me of a European soccer player, Blake Griffin did yesterday. The amount of flopping around on the ground, the amount of, I swear the last time he held his head, it was under the Suns' basket. I forget exactly who hit him. TJ Warren had already been ejected, which is Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin must have gone to the huddle and just laughed at that. He absolutely got under TJ Warren's skin there. But I forget who hit Blake, and all of a sudden he didn't go down in a heap, but he started holding his head. I don't want to mess up my perfectly coiffed hair here, so I'm not going to hold him. And I swear to you, the replay, he didn't even get hit. Was it DeAndre? Okay, I swear he didn't get hit. He went down as if, oh my God, I'm having a concussion, I should be wearing a helmet, and, maybe he did get brushed, but there was not a chance in hell that was the kind of contact that his reaction, should have caused, or should have been caused by, I guess. So he just annoys the hell out of me. I loved growing up, I would not do either of those, just personally. And innocently grabbing a rebound. Yeah, it was. Why is Josh Jackson? I don't know why Josh Jackson is so disappointing, man. I loved Dennis Rodman as a kid. I loved watching him growing up. I tend to like the guys that people hate, and I think Rodman was one of those guys that people loved to hate. I loved him. There was just something about his game. There was just something about his quirkiness and how odd he was that just really intrigued me. And you have to respect, he's in the Hall of Fame for good reason. You have to respect his energy, his rebounding, his defense, his tenacity. I'll never forget watching, I believe it was with a short stint with Dallas. I hate Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant is a big whiny baby. Dennis Rodman was just a weirdo, and there was something appealing to me about that. And I mean, again, though, his defense, his rebounding, his tenacity. I mean, he had a lot of fantastic and wonderful basketball qualities that you don't see in most people, most ball players. That is. But I believe maybe it was right at the end of Rodman's career. Rodman was also just really good. He was just really good. He was either with Dallas or LA at the time, and the Suns had played against whoever he was with. Oh, we'll talk. Devin Booker's next, I swear. With a slight elbow in the NFL, because I went down. I've been hit on the temple with a slight elbow in the NFL in Oz, and I went down like a sack. In Oz, oh, in the temple, yeah, but he was hit he was holding up here. I just don't buy it, man. I'm not saying maybe you're right. Maybe it really did cause him a lot of pain. For me, it was crying wolf. He'd been flopping around so much. If they weren't playing, if the game was played under European soccer rules, he would have been, rolling around like crazy. The game would have kept going. They would have put on a stretcher, ran him off. He would have then 2 minutes later come running back full speed and strength. And that's just how bad he was doing it. Anyway, I'm going to just finish this very brief story. Yo, what is up, brother? So the Suns played. Well, then the next game, I'll never forget the camera before the game started zooming in on Tom Gugliotta. And if I recall correctly, it was his right arm. Zooming in on Tom Gugliotta, and they said that was from Dennis Rodman pinching and clawing and pulling throughout the game. And I remember I know it was obviously Al McCoy at the time, because those games were simulcast, and I'm assuming Cotton was still the color guy. And I swear they were talking about how dirty Rodman was. And I remember going, man, that is crazy. But still, just in the back of my mind, just respecting just how good he was, how ferocious he was. And I bet I could go back and find the stats of that game. I'll bet you had double-digit rebounds. He probably had 15, 18 boards like that. So I loved Rodman. Hated Manu Ginobili. Blake Griffin is no Rodman. He's closer to Manu Ginobili in my book. Who do I like more in terms of bad guys that everybody hates, Rodman or KD? I like Rodman. I hate KD. He's just a wimp. Now, would I take him on the Suns? Absolutely, but it would worry me, though. It really would, psychologically, because the guy's just such a wimp. So, all right. Now that I've got that off my chest, we're about 5 minutes in. Go and please start, please like, please retweet. Point Booker. Point Booker is not bad at all, is he? I liked Ben Wallace, but he wasn't he wasn't a flopper though. He was just a really good defensive player, but I really wish the Suns could find a way against Zach LaVine. I would love Zach LaVine. Got to talk about how fantastic Holmes' energy has been. Holmes is playing fantastically. He really has been. I've loved watching that kid play. I wish that DeAndre Ayton played with that much just energy, constant frenetic energy up and down the court. I tweeted yesterday something to the effect of, I do not want John Wall. Too much money in his head, unless that's what you're comparing to in regards to being a head case. But I tweeted yesterday in regards to DeAndre Ayton. I said, does Ayton ever jump at a shooter? Because it really doesn't look like he does. And somebody commented, and I'm hot or cold on Montrezl. Bradley Beal, no, because do you really want Devin Booker to play point or small forward? And that's the thing. That if you get Bradley Beal, then you're relegating Devin Booker to point guard forever. And if you move him to small forward, then you've still got three of them. And one is a really good scorer, and another one is a great two-way player already, or at least developing into one. And the third one is Josh Jackson, who is supposed to be good. So I just don't like the addition of Bradley Beal. And so I made the comment of, he doesn't, that DeAndre Ayton just doesn't jump. And so a fan, honestly and innocently, and I've said, well, he had 3 blocks today, so it must be something. And I was like, yeah, that's strange. It's like, he did a 3, and I only remember seeing one that it stuck in my mind. But regardless, I was like, 3, okay, that's cool. But then I was like, but how does he average a game? DeAndre Ayton averages 0.6 blocks a game. 0.6. And you know what? I didn't have this pulled up and I should have, so let me just get this now. I'll bet you per 36 minutes, Richaun Holmes averages... I'm going to make a stab. I'm going to stab in the dark, and I'll have this right now. Richaun Holmes per 36 minutes averages twice as many blocks as DeAndre Ayton. Okay, per game total per 36. Okay, blocks, DeAndre Ayton, 0.8, so that would mean 0.6. Oh! 3 times. Rashawn Holmes averages 3 times as many blocks per 36 minutes as DeAndre Ayton. Rashawn Holmes averages 2.7 blocks per 36 minutes compared to DeAndre Ayton's 0.8. Now, here's the thing. Some guys are just more dominant blockers. Some guys just know how to get their hands up better than others. Rashawn Holmes might just be that guy. But DeAndre Ayton averages... how many minutes a game? DeAndre Ayton averages 32.3 minutes a game. So that means per game is only averaging 0.7 blocks. I don't like that. I don't like that he can't seem to jump. Like, I don't see DeAndre Ayton jumping to block shots. And I don't know if he's afraid of... Here's the thing. Let me kind of zoom out a little bit here. And now we're at 10 minutes in. So go ahead and please retweet. The excuse, and I'm going to use that word with a lowercase e, the excuse I hear for DeAndre Ayton already not being a dominant center when he's obviously got the talent to be dominant. I mean, it's just obvious. He's dripping with it. The excuse, for lack of a better word, that I have seen most and that I subscribe to on some level about DeAndre Ayton not dominating yet is the fact that he's still learning. He's only played 33 college games. He's now only played 19 NBA games, so it's less than 50 total. Not less than. Yeah, a little over 50 games total in his collegiate and professional career. He's still learning. He's not in foul trouble. He only averages 2.8 personal fouls a game. Devin Booker leads the team with 3.6, and that 2.8 is second. Tyson Chandler had been averaging 3, so... He might be a little bit afraid of getting foul trouble. So it could be the foul trouble issue. It could also be, he's trying not to make the defensive mistake of jumping to block and missing on the pump fake and then having, that guy drive around him. All of that, okay. I will subscribe to that somewhat. No, I would not trade Booker for Luka. I wouldn't trade Josh Jackson for... I saw that you're Josh Jackson for Fultz either. I would trade for Fultz, but not Josh Jackson. And that's not because I'm so uber high on Josh Jackson. Still, my level of faith in him as ever becoming a great player on any level has lessened, but somewhat this year. But at least he's healthy. So all of that could be true in regards to DeAndre Ayton. But you know what? The problem we had with Alex Len and Markelle Fultz, now that I might consider. Yes, Josh Jackson for Zach LaVine I might consider. The problem we had with Marquise Chris, and Dragon Bender and Alex Len fouling a lot was the fact that they really weren't doing anything else. Yeah, they were fouling a lot because they were bad fouls. I don't know if they do it, and if they do it, it's not till January 15th. But they were committing bad fouls and then not producing regularly on any other level. Ayton is producing. He's averaging a double-double. He's nearly averaging 17 and 11. That's damn good for a rookie. But he's only averaging 0.7 blocks per game. T.J. Warren averages more blocks per game than DeAndre Ayton at 0.8. It's only a tenth more, but how is a 7'1", potentially dominant center... Oh, how good would the Suns be in the playoffs, I'll tell you that. I'm just saying, so, okay, I don't mind the lack of jumping. It's the poor positioning on pick and rolls that bothers me. It's the poor positioning. It's the lack of jumping. It seems to be the lack of boxing out entirely. It seems to be the lack of, he grabs a lot of rebounds that are within his airspace. And the thing about it is he does get them. But he doesn't ever seem to go after them. He doesn't have that Rashawn Holmes. It's almost like the puppy dog energy. And I use the word frenetic. So that's probably a more fair, word. But at least in terms of an analogy of saying, have I said the wrong name? I might have said the wrong name. Sorry. But it's almost like a puppy just seeing a ball and going, I gotta get that ball. That was kind of Dennis Rodman's philosophy. It was see ball, get ball. For lack of, to just simplify that, his philosophy is small and concise and compact as possible. It was see ball, get ball. DeAndre Ayton sees ball and lets someone else get the ball. Like, and again, yes, he might be afraid of getting personal fouls. You know what? That might then lessen next year and less even more by his third year. And by his third year, he's averaging 25, 12, and 4 blocks. I don't know. I just don't. He doesn't play with enough high energy. He isn't physical enough. And so, is he soft? Is he weak? And could that be part of it? Could there be a physical weakness where he's realizing, like, wow, I'm getting bumped around a lot and I'm not used to this. And he's still just trying to, figure this out. But now here's the other thing that scares me. Rookie Ayton is equal to rookie Jahlil Okafor. Jahlil Okafor looked awesome statistically. And I can get those stats pretty quickly. Jahlil Okafor looked awesome statistically his rookie year. I want to say averaged over 20 points. Oh, no, he didn't. 17.5 points and 7 boards, but 1.2 blocks, only 2.6 personal fouls. He averaged double digits once more his second year, but it went down to 11.8 and 4.0. Now, he is not Jahlil Okafor. He is better than Jahlil Okafor. And statistically, I mean, it's not even close. I mean, 17.5 points is 0.6 more than Ayton, but 7 boards is almost 4 less. Just saying, Spencer Dinwiddie is good. I would take Spencer Dinwiddie. I might even trade Josh Jackson for Spencer Dinwiddie. My reason for not wanting to trade Josh Jackson for Fultz is simply because Fultz isn't his injuries. Like, I would take him as a risk, but I wouldn't spend too much to get that. That's a huge risk. So he's better than Jahlil, but I am a little bit worried there. Ayton gets no senior development help at either back center front. When you say senior development help, do you mean he doesn't have that veteran presence, he doesn't have that veteran center, that veteran power forward? I mean, he obviously had Tyson Chandler, he has Trevor Ariza. What would I give up for Fultz on YouTube? I would give up Ariza and the Milwaukee pick. I actually have another 3-team trade that I'll be publishing in the next day or so. This was discussed with a diehard Philadelphia 76ers fan too, so it's like we worked it out in terms of he knows Philadelphia a lot better than I would, Excuse me. But I just, I don't really buy into, as a front court playing partner. Okay. I'm really not buying into this whole veteran guy comes in and helps coach the team. He's like a coach on the court. He's a coach in the locker room. He's, I don't, you know what? They have so many coaches on staff already. Yeah, I think if Fultz were traded here, he would start. I really do. First game. I mean, he would start first game if healthy. They have so many coaches on staff, and obviously Tyson Chandler was more selfish than we were led to believe. Because remember, Ryan McDonough offered to trade him 2 summers ago, and he said no, I wanted to be here. So we thought, okay, he's going to coach Alex Len. Alex Len never got any better at all, in fact. And really, did Tyson Chandler help then at all? And moreover, the fact that then this year he was like, okay, trade me in the final year. I want to go play in LA. I want to go play with, or not trade, but waive me. I want to go play with LeBron, yada, yada, yada. I mean, he could have said, no, don't waive me. I want to be on this team. Fine, bench me. I've got a contract to uphold. I've got friends on this team. I want to help DeAndre Ayton. If DeAndre Ayton becomes a Hall of Fame player, I want people to say, hey, Tyson Chandler helped, facilitate that growth. And he didn't. So I'm starting to subscribe less and less to the philosophy that veteran players are going to help the young guys. And this, they've got coaches. They've all got coaches. So could he use some help in the front court in terms of power forward? Yeah, but I also like Rashawn Holmes as his backup. I mean, blocking more. The Suns' bad losses, the rest of the team let their... it faded away a little bit too quick. Sorry, I was trying to get to it, but... was your question about bad losses, as in, are they hurting the team, or the Suns' bad losses hurting? Like in terms of developmental growth? Okay, let's see. Paul on you. Oh, this is the other thing that was making it really hard for him. That is the other thing. Losing is making it hard for him to be really successful. Well, I mean... Oh, losing was hard for Tyson Chandler? Sure, but... You know what? I just got to say. I would... If I could be paid what he makes, what any of these average kind of guys make, I would play for an 0-82 team. And I'd have a lot of fun doing it too. Can we re-sign Rashawn Holmes already? I'm sure they could re-sign him. Paul on YouTube asked, though, is or is he the only one upset about Isaiah Cannon on the court, or Cannon, whatever his pronunciation is now? And no, Paul, you are not alone. He's frustrating to watch, and I am so glad Devin Booker is starting in point now. Tell me it doesn't look 10 times better if Kevin Love is with. Oh, okay, Kevin Love is a power forward, probably help. Ain't a lot. Would Zion Williamson be a great fit in Phoenix? He'd be a perfect fit. He's Charles Barkley 2.0. I said that first 3 months ago. What if the Suns got Blake Griffin in 2017? I don't want him. Iowa, it keeps disappearing. It keeps disappearing. I'm sorry. I don't know why yours are disappearing so fast. No, I do not want Blake Griffin. Would they be better? Yeah, but I don't want him. His cost was going to be astronomically high. Zion Williamson, though, would be fantastic. He's Charles Barkley 2.0. He has that see ball, get ball mentality. And the thing about that is that as a power forward, if you were to be on the Suns as a starting power forward with that see ball, get ball mentality or philosophy, it would help DeAndre Ayton because he wouldn't have to do that. Because he'd have Zion doing it. So then Ayton could focus more intensely on defense alone. And then maybe that would raise his blocks up to 2 or 3 because he doesn't have to worry about getting those boards because Zion's got them. You guys, I cannot tell you. I normally do not watch college basketball. I normally try not to. Like, I'll get hyped because people are hyped, but I try not to speculate about. Okay, well, to that question, how good is Zion defensively? I'll state my position on that here. I try not to speculate. Yes, great. I actually talked about that to one of my huge Suns fan cousins the other day. During the ASU U of A game. Comeback of the century, baby. I try not to speculate on how a player in college will transfer. Okay, sorry about that. How it will transfer to the NBA. Because I have no idea. I do not scout. I do not watch enough games. College games, that is. I watch a lot of ASU, and that's about it. Now, that said, I actually have seen a bunch on Zion. I did a lot of research on him because the hype was so big. I'm like, all right, let's... Granted, I'm a homer. I'm a Suns homer. Granted, I have my very first NBA memories are of Charles Barkley on the Phoenix Suns. So, that is ingrained in me. I see Charles Barkley in Zion Williamson. I see the young, slightly overweight, or maybe very overweight, but highly athletic, motor, rebounding, passing, driving machine of Charles Barkley and Zion Williamson. And that excites the hell out of me as a Suns fan and as somebody who wants the Suns to, at this point now, since we're not making playoffs, get the first overall pick one more time. Is that plausible? Yes. Is it likely? No. I mean, is it likely? No, but it's plausible, yes. My second favorite NBA team. Let me think on that. Hold on. But you guys, I want Zion in the worst way. I really do think. And yes, the idea of drafting Zion and then signing Kemba Walker, which would be possible. The Suns could have that cap space. They'd have to move. I think they would have to move Ryan Anderson. So you might then be trading, attaching a first-round pick to that. But that first-round pick is not going to be worth a whole lot. It's just not, because you got to imagine that a Kemba Walker, Devin Booker backcourt is going to be one of the best in the league. That a small forward of probably still T.J. Warren, but maybe Mikal Bridges, and even one or the other, and the other backing up the starter is going to be damn good. And then with a front court of Zion Williamson, see ball, get ball, with DeAndre Ayton, that is a very exciting young team that is going to be more like the Philadelphia 76ers are now than we are of them now. Never had a number 1 overall pick before this year. Chances of backing up with another in lottery. Oh, okay, yeah, obviously they're slim. But what happens with Josh Jackson? He's supposed to be good this season. I don't know. It's just, his 3-point shot is starting to come along a little bit. He's averaging 30%, which is up 7 or 8 points over last year. 4 points. He's averaging 4%. His scoring is down. You guys, I don't know. Milwaukee Bucks pick and our first pick 2019 for Giannis. They wouldn't take it. They wouldn't take that. You'd have to do that plus Booker and Ayton, and then they'd be like, "Are you sure?" All right, so Suns never had the first overall pick before this year. Now I'm saying, they get it 2 years in a row. Well, here's the thing. What happened in 1985 has no bearing on what happens in 2020. What happened in that was the year of the first lottery. What happened in 1987 has no bearing. What happened in 2001 has no bearing. What happened in 2018 has no bearing in 2019. So, yeah, I said 2019. So, that being said, the Suns never got it, and they, only got it once. Now I'm saying they get it again. The odds are in their favor, and that's all we've got. Moreover, if they finish in the worst three, which, if I pull up the current standings, I believe they are in the worst three right now, tied with Cleveland and somebody else. Hold on one second. It's loading. Oh, the Hawks. We have 211. So, yeah, the Suns actually have the second worst record. No one has ever won the money lottery 2 times back-to-back. Well, that I don't know. But somebody has won the NBA lottery back-to-back, and that was the Orlando Magic in 1992 and then in 1993. And that's who last season I compared the Suns to, expecting the Suns to have been better, but I compared the 2018-19 Suns with the 1992-93 Orlando Magic. Orlando drafted Shaq with the number 1 overall pick in 92, then drafted Chris Webber, who they traded for Penny Hardaway in 93. And if I am the Suns, at this point, that's my plan for this year. I try not to bench anybody and intentionally tank. I try to just keep this team together and playing as hard as they can and still losing, but there's no rule about not being able to get a top 3 pick 2 years in a row. Not in the NBA. I don't know of any league where you can't do that. You'd have to. I've never heard of that. That's not a rule. Suns can't have the top three pick twice in a row. Remember, Cleveland won it. Cleveland won it 2 years in a row, didn't they? Yeah. Oh, no. Excuse me. Yeah, they did. They won in 2013, took Anthony Bennett, and won in 2014, took Andrew Wiggins. So that's after they won in 2011, took Kyrie. Thoughts on Mikal Bridges? Oh, I'm really loving Mikal Bridges. I want him to be the starting shooting guard from now on. Did they talk about doing something like that recently? I haven't heard about that. I just know that this year the lottery will be to try to prevent tanking. The 3 teams with the worst records will all have the same odds to win the lottery. So the team with the worst record will not have better odds than the team with the second record, as they did last year. The teams with the bottom 3 records, regardless of what the records are, will all have the same odds. So if the Suns finish with the 3rd worst record, that's all the Suns have to do. They just have to try to finish with the 3rd worst record. And then they'll have the exact same odds as the team with both the second and the first. You're welcome. So they'll have a shot. All they have to do is finish with the 3rd worst record, and I believe it's 25%. Let's see, 2019 NBA Draft Lottery odds. I believe they will have a 25% chance with the top 3 pick. Oh, 14%. Excuse me. They'll have 14%. So the Suns will have a 14% chance at getting the number 1 overall pick. Excuse me. Your top 3 teams, or worst 3, will have a 14% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick, a 13.4% chance of getting the number 2 overall pick, and a 12.7% chance of getting the number 3 overall pick. So, yeah, they need to win the lottery again. Didn't the lottery change? Yeah, the lottery changed to that. So we are 30 minutes in. Go ahead and please heart, please like, please retweet. Oh yeah, Bender at number 4 was a bust and a half. Although Marquise Chris at number 8 and trading for him at number 8 was a bust and a half. Although right now we can thank them for that because we have DeAndre Ayton. With what the front office has done so far, why do you think Ryan McDonough was fired? No point guard, no trades? Because, so I don't know why McDonough was fired, to be honest, and I still think the timing meant something was fishy. Something was fishy. I mean, it's just, I don't think it was as cut and dry as Sarver made it sound of, well, I've been thinking about it for a while. Then why didn't you do it a month before? Why didn't you do it right after? Like, you had to wait till after the draft, after free agency, after some trades had commenced, after a preseason, after training camp, after 2 or 3 preseason games, and all of a sudden you're going to fire him? Either Sarver went in, or excuse me, either McDonough said something really stupid or did something really stupid that was like non-basketball related, or Sarver is just a liar. I don't know. I mean, it's just, plus Sarver was, had to do it over call. Yeah, McDonough was interviewed on, it's an ESPN NBA team, NBA show, excuse me. No new news has come out about the firing. Doesn't seem like Jones is doing a lot. Because Jones isn't doing a lot. Robert Sarver is the general manager. I mean, it's just, that's what it is. Sarver is the general manager, and The Jump, thank you. That's the show. I never watch it because it's on during the day and I'm working, but I believe it's on during the day, and even if it's not, I still don't watch it. But Robert Sarver is the general manager. There's just no two ways about it. And maybe that's what the firing was. Is Robert Sarver said, okay, I want more of a voice. I don't like what you're doing. I'm going to do more of the background dealing that, he had been doing or what have you. McDonough said, no, he didn't give a reason. But maybe McDonough said, no, I'm not giving up my power. I'm a general manager. And so Sarver said, fine, you're fired. And, even then Sarver's not doing anything either. Well, there's only so much you can do. I mean, remember, it takes two teams to tango. So the Suns can call, say, Philadelphia and say, we want Markelle Fultz. And Philadelphia can go, well, we ain't trading. Click. And he can call Boston and say, we want Terry Rozier. And they can call him and say, we're not trading Terry Rozier. Click. And he can call Portland and say, we want Damian Lillard. And they can hang up with or saying, we're not trading Damian Lillard. So it takes two teams to tango. And right now, not all players are available to be traded. A certain percentage will be available come December 15th, and then a greater percentage will be available come January 15th. So take Trevor Ariza, for instance. He cannot be traded until January 15th. So Ariza is one of the only big contracts that, is movable on the roster to help facilitate a big contractual change. I understand that, but you would think some rumors are coming out about the Suns are trying. That's true, but I mean, again, it takes two teams to tango, so maybe McDonough made all the calls before the season started to set up the fact that, nothing's going to happen. It's so Sarver's just biding his time. Or maybe Sarver doesn't want to move anybody on the roster except for, Ariza or Ryan Anderson. And nobody wants Ryan Anderson. And again, Ariza can't be traded. So, I mean, maybe he doesn't want to move on from Josh Jackson just yet. So 4 Suns first-round picks for Jonas. Okay, so I would trade 4 first-round picks, but they still wouldn't do it. Do I think Ariza survives to the new year? Yes, he will survive through the new year because he cannot be traded until January 15th. So Ariza is stuck here until a minimum of January 15th. And then my gut says that if he is traded, he won't be traded until the trade deadline, until February 8th or whatever the trade deadline is. Let me see if I can find it real quick. That is the 2018-19 NBA trade deadline. I thought it was no, he is January 15th. Okay, key dates for NBA trade deadline. I've got it right here. Yeah, it is February 7th at 3 p.m. So I don't think he gets traded until February 7th. Let me double check. I'm almost positive that he cannot be traded until January 15th. But if I am wrong, I am always happy to correct myself. All right, I am pulling it up as we speak. I wish I could show you guys my screens. I need to find some sort of software that lets you guys see what I'm researching. But according to this, no. When a free agent signs a contract, one of his players to AGL, he has the contract converted, blah, 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 cannot be traded until December 15th. So he cannot be traded until December 15th or 3 months, whichever is later. And so I'm assuming that 3 months means the Trevor Ariza cannot be traded. Because this says January 15th. Let's see. Let me check something else. Oops. Let me try this one real quick. I've got another site that I will check. Right here. Come on. He was signed day 1 for agency. Hold on. All right. Ariza. Let me just try load this. Let's do that. Hold on. I'm sorry. I usually don't ever not talk. Okay, so according to this website, Ariza can be traded December 15th. So, okay, so maybe one is wrong. So I see both January 15th and December 15th. So maybe it is December 15th. We need a point guard with the trade deadline. I don't know. I mean, Devin Booker's looking really good. Sorry, deadline. My bad. I'm not trying to. Like I said, I wish you guys could see what I was looking at because I'm just doing research as fast as I can. Let me just give this one more look over here. Let me just check one more thing. It is December 15th. I've always heard December 15th. Point book. I'm liking point book. Okay, so this says when a free agent signs a contract or as a two-way player. Okay, so what was day one of free agency? Whichever is later. So you know what? Then that must be a typo. It must be December 15th then. Would you rather trade Ariza for a point guard or power forward? Which is going to be harder? Gambo was saying something like that. Which is, okay, so here's what I would say. Which is going to be harder to get in the offseason? Because let's say you trade him for a young point guard. Let's say you can trade Ariza for Fultz, or in a package therefore, which I'm all for. Markelle Fultz Trevor Ariza and the Milwaukee pick for Markelle Fultz. Let's say you can do that. Then I am going to say then free agency over the summer must be dedicated to finding that power forward. And if you can draft Zion, then you're set, But regardless, I mean, then that's what my focus would be. So if you trade then for a power forward, I'm hoping, I don't know who you're going to get. I would say point guard now that I think about it, because, let's say you trade Ariza. Is there a young power forward that is similar to the situation that Markelle Fultz is in Philadelphia, in that they are young, they are talented, but there's just something wrong, and they might need to change the scenery of the Phoenix Suns' medical, training staff? I don't think it's a power forward like that. So I would say point guard. And I would say, really, I mean, give me a package. I want Fultz, a package for Fultz. I don't want anything from Houston to trade, so it would have to be a three-way trade because they don't have anything. The only contract that would work would be Brandon Knight, and the Suns cannot reacquire Knight this season because they traded him this season. So Knight is 100% off limits. Knight and Marquise Chris, as if the Suns want Chris back, which they don't. They'd be 100% off limits to the Suns because they were traded this year. Bradley Beal wants our Suns to pair him with Booker and Ayton. I just don't like it because that means you're moving Booker to either point guard full-time or small forward, and it just doesn't make sense. Bradley was a shooting guard. I just don't, it doesn't make sense to me. I would rather trade for a star point guard or a star power forward. I don't like the idea of trading for Beal because he's a shooting guard. Go ahead, we are about 40 minutes in. Go ahead and please retweet. I'm going to go until 7 o'clock. When I trade Ariza for D'Lo, absolutely. But I mean, it's got to be more than that. I would trade Josh Jackson for D'Lo. Suns 2019 offseason acquisitions headlines: Zion Williams and Terry Rozier. How about Zion Williams and D'Angelo Russell, or Zion Williams and Kemba Walker? I'm just not a fan of Terry Rozier. I'm really not. It doesn't mean it wouldn't work, but I also don't think that it would. I don't think what the Suns need is they need a distributor on at point. And Devin Booker's doing a fine job of that already, but if you move him to shooting guard, obviously that just opens up so much of the offense. And Rozier's just not a distributor. Let me get his stats real quick. Terry Rozier's just not a distributor. You don't think Beal and Booker can trade off his point guard duties? Suns could get Zion, if he leaves after 1 year and the Suns get the number one overall pick. Terry Rozier is averaging 2.1 assists. His career high is 2.9. And per 36 minutes, his career high is 4.3 his rookie year, but this year 3.4. He's just... I still want Grayson Allen. Yes, I do. I would take Grayson Allen. What is he averaging? I haven't actually paid attention. I know he's hardly playing. I just don't. I don't have faith in Terry Rozier. I really don't. Grayson Allen has played 13 games, averaging 4.5 points, shooting 29.4% from beyond the arc, which is 10 of 34. He doesn't get any minutes, no. He's only averaging 10.2 minutes per game. But yes, I would take him as a backup. Absolutely. I feel Ariza ends up with the Sixers and Fultz ends up with Phoenix. How would that trade work, though? It would be Ariza and, say, Milwaukee's pick for Fultz and Muscala. I believe it would have to be Muscala for contracts. And as a power forward, Muscala would make sense on the Suns because you're trading your power. Well, you're not trading your power forward, but you're trading a quasi power forward in Trevor Ariza. So you get one back. Ricky Rubio. I would love Ricky Rubio. So let's say the offseason acquisitions centered around Zion Williamson and a point guard. I would take Ricky Rubio in a heartbeat. I think he'd be the perfect point guard. He'd be the Steve Nash type. And I will look up Muscala's contract here in a second, but I just want to look up Rubio's age. Anybody know it offhand? I want to say he's close to 30. I love saying his name. I really do. Ricky Rubio. So if they ended up with RJ Barrett, I would try to trade that pick. Because again, you're looking at a shooting guard, and it's just you do what you can to get in a position that he's 28. So yeah, I would take Ricky Rubio in a heartbeat. I think he'd be perfect. Yeah, I just turned 28 just a month ago, October 21st. So that's a point guard that just passes away. Ricky Rubio would do that, but the thing is he can now shoot. I mean, he's averaging 33.7% from three. Last year's 35.2. I would take that. And doesn't really turn the ball over a whole lot. 3.1. Barrett is a baller, but yeah, I mean so when I take RJ Barrett, but my point though is I would try and trade him. I would try and trade that pick, at least, and not feel too bad about it because you've got Devin Booker. The Suns are at the point now where they do have to find the players in the right positions. They're no longer, I was okay. If RJ Barrett could play point guard in the NBA, then I would take it. But he'd better be a, Ben Simmons type point guard. But my point though is that the Suns, when they drafted both Dragon Bender and Marquise Chris, they were able to draft for talent alone, regardless of position. And the way McDonough saw it, and obviously shot a gigantic air ball. But, he is fourth. Okay, well then, all right. Then you might be... Again, like I said earlier, I don't really watch a whole lot of college basketball. I really don't. I focus my efforts on the NBA. Ricky, Fultz, D'Lo, Rondo, I'll take any of those guys. Agreed. Not Rondo. So agreed, disagree. I don't want Rajon Rondo. So Bender and Chris, yeah. So he obviously airballed that draft. But his philosophy was, let me get the two best players I deem available, and the fact that they're the same position is fine because we'll keep one and trade the other. Well, they did that, although it was after they were both just utter and absolutely deplorable busts. The refs might have. Rondo for one season would be fine, maybe, but I just don't like his attitude. Could a Ricky Rubio signing draw comparisons to Steve Nash? Yeah, Ricky Rubio could draw comparisons. Would it be relative? Well, or would it be similar? Yeah. Would it be the same? No. But yes, no. That's the thing. I would do that because he's at the perfect kind of like veteran age of I want to win, and I'm sure he's at that point where it's just like I want to win. That's his goal. And have fun doing it. And I think that he could do that. I don't know if he'd win a title, of course, but I think he would be doing that with the Suns with Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Zion Williamson. In that original scenario, that is. So Berkel Flickle. What was I saying? Sorry, I want Kemba so bad. In terms of scoring, assists. RJ. Oh, something about I forget. I apologize. I did lose my train of thought there, but anyway, yeah, I would take Ricky Rubio in a heartbeat. I would love to have him. We're 45 minutes in. Go ahead and please like, please retweet. We're gonna head all the way up till 7 o'clock. I do think YouTube is gonna my camera's gonna die before that. I'm getting alerts saying the battery's running low. So just if you're on YouTube, hopefully we'll get it through because I think there's enough battery life left. But if it does die, just jump over to Twitter or Periscope and we'll still be there. That camera's good. And yes, it is two cameras. I have to do that in order to stream on two different sites. But Anyway, yeah. So what else do you guys want to talk about? Ooh, some Cyber Monday deals. Never had a chance. These are the mega popular deals that were sold out before they even went on sale. Thoughts on Ricky Rubio's defense? I can survive with it. Score more points. Kemba and his Suns union would be awesome, but I don't think Jordan lets him go. I don't think so either. But if I understand correctly, he is unrestricted. So, you know, and let's say that, the Suns can offer a similar contract. I don't know exactly how that works because, but he is unrestricted. If Milwaukee doesn't do anything to improve themselves and improve their roster this coming offseason, I said Milwaukee, apologize. If Charlotte doesn't do anything to improve the roster, he could just be like, dude, thanks Jordan, but I want to go. Well, he's already signed his rookie contract extension, so I think he's now unrestricted. I'm almost 99.999. I'm almost 99.99. I'm actually only 99.99% positive, but I will let you know right now. Do I believe Joe Ingles is underrated? No, I think he's rated just fine. I think he's rated as a Dan Marley type, and that kind of guy's valuable on winning teams. If I were the Suns in 2018-19 with Joe Ingles with a 4-14 record, I would be looking to trade him. I really would, because he would have considerable trade value, probably first-round pick trade value on a team from the Suns to a team like Houston, Utah, Boston, the Lakers. Anybody that's kind of competing for a championship, or entirely competing for a championship. Okay, all positions. Point guard. 2019, Ricky Kemba is unrestricted with bird rights. So Kemba Walker is unrestricted with bird rights. So, as far as I understand, the Suns will be able to sign him, offer him the max, and it would be equivalent to what Charlotte could offer. Beal and Wall are both available. Do you like the Suns? Either of those first options for the Suns? Well, the only other star that I would say would be Kevin Durant. So no to Wall and no to Beal. Wall, absolutely not. His money is astronomical. The Suns couldn't do anything else at that point, so it just doesn't make any logical sense for them. And I have just heard way too much that he's just a pain in the ass in the locker room. And I really hope that I'm not speaking, disparaging a man incorrectly, but I have literally heard that he's just, a locker room malcontent. Bradley Beal, again, no, he plays shooting guard. So either he has to play or Devin Booker has to play out of position. Ooh, that's a fun question. Let me think on that. Either he or Devin Booker will have to play out of position at point guard. And while Devin Booker, I am happy doing it, fine with that. I think you do try to find a point guard, it's a distributor, a Ricky Rubio type, that kind of thing first. Or Devin Booker has to play small forward, and you've got Mikal Bridges, who's looking like he's going to be a cornerstone small forward, or, TJ Warren. So I don't like it. Big name player, do you think the Suns would trade next outside of Wall? Oh, that anybody will trade next, or the Suns? Outside of Wall? Well, I'll still stand by Portland and Damian Lillard. Still could be the connection. I still think Damian Lillard is the next big star to be traded, but they have to sink. And right now they're 6th and 28, so maybe it won't happen. If they've lost 3 in a row, maybe that's the start of, just some big slide that asks for a trade. Yeah, Damian Lillard in my mind is the next big star to ask for a trade. Let me just kind of go through. Nobody on Toronto, nobody on Milwaukee, nobody on Philly. I doubt anybody on Detroit, nobody on Indiana, nobody on the Celtics. Portland is playing well, though. Yeah, I've cooled on Lillard. I think McCollum leaves first. Well, I always think I always thought McCollum would leave first, but I was just hoping they would both be upset enough, or that the franchise would understand we need to move on from one, that the Suns could swoop in and get Damian Lillard. All right, so Celtics, I don't see anybody. Charlotte, I don't see anybody. Nobody on Milwaukee. Nobody on Brooklyn. Wall, Beal for the Wizards, maybe. Hassan Whiteside on Miami. I would love to trade for Kristaps Porzingis, but they're going to re-sign him. Nobody on the Bulls, Cleveland, Atlanta. Okay, so that's the Eastern. So the Western Conference. Do the Clippers have a star? I mean, is there anybody on that team where you're like, he's, we need to have him and he's got to go? I don't. Nobody on the Warriors. Nobody on the Nuggets. I don't want anybody on the Grizzlies. Yeah, but Lou isn't. I mean, I thought we were stars, though. I mean, he's not a star. Nobody on the. Well, maybe the Thunder. No, but they're fifth. They'll be in the playoff. Paul George ain't demanding a trade. Russell Westbrook isn't. I mean, Adam. Maybe not Adam, but Adams. Maybe. But no, I don't think. Still looking at the Blazers. I wish we had got in on the D'Angelo Russell. Oh my gosh, me too. Why do I think Igor's playing Cannon? Because who else is he going to play? That's the thing. Yeah, Jamal Murray. I don't think anybody on Denver wants out. Yeah, but you want Chris Middleton on the Suns? I wanted him. I mean, I would have taken him. I would take him, but I'm a little afraid being his age and his combination of age and inexperience, though. Nobody on the Lakers. Nobody on the Pelicans. Well, maybe okay. So maybe the next big star to demand the trade is on the Pelicans, and maybe it's the Unibrow. Schroeder. Is he a star? Kind of wish we picked IT. I kind of do too. I'm not gonna lie. But maybe the Unibrow in New Orleans could be that player. Nobody on the Mavericks. The Rockets are probably set. The Kings, nobody. The Spurs. Maybe LaMarcus Aldridge, but I would bet that if the Spurs really sink, that they just. What's the next star who might demand a trade? The Suns could maybe get in on. So outside of Beal, Wall, Fultz. So I'm just kind of going through the list, trying to obviously think out loud. If you guys have another name. But I mean, let's say the Spurs do tank, then maybe. But I think the Spurs trade LaMarcus Aldridge. Before he ever demands one. Start Crawford. Offense looks so much better with Book and Jamal together. Oh, I love having Jamal Crawford in there. He's starting to really pick it up. I think Schroeder gets tired of backing up. It's Davis, the next big star. Excuse me. I apologize. Yeah, I think Davis is probably the next big star. Kevin Love, I don't know. I think Love might be actually happy in Cleveland. He's when he gets back, he's going to be the man. Wish we could get LaMarcus instead of. Well, it would have been both. That's the thing. Wish we could have had both. You know what, though? Minnesota may be an old buddy of. Well, but Aaron Gordon is currently in 6th place in the Eastern Conference playoffs, so I doubt that. Although I'm still surprised at how small his contract was. I thought the Suns would have offered him a lot more than he ended up signing for with Orlando. But maybe somebody, an old buddy of Devin Booker's from Minnesota demands a trade. Unicorn is intriguing, telling with new coach and no extension. It's because he's injured. He's not going to play this year. That's probably why. They're going to wait to make sure his recovery goes well. Otherwise, just do the qualifying offer. I said the best bet is signing a Frazier starts becoming a stranger in the class. Yeah, if I'm James Jones, well, if I'm Robert Sarver, I instruct James Jones to max Kevin Durant and see what happens. This is the problem with the Suns. They're hoping someone wants out when, in fact, so many people wanted out. Yeah, I'm not wearing my sunglasses because they're in my car. I left them in my car, and I was literally, I literally saw myself in a mirror 5 minutes before and went, my glasses, and I didn't want to run all the way down, so they're in my car. I needed to just remember, and I spaced. Because now that, I start the show basically I start the show after sunset, so I'm not wearing my sunglasses. During the summer, it's easy for me to remember because I'm already wearing them. If someone bets on Kristaps Porzingis and the Knicks are scared to commit, what are the chances we sign KD? Slim to none, but I'll take the odds of slim and see what happens. So he hasn't been re-signed, though, because of his injury. If it looks like this could be career-threatening or like his agility is shot or something, in regards to his health is, if his health is seriously altered, they're not going to offer him a max. I mean, and I don't fault them. It'd be like the Suns not offering Amari Stoudemire the max. Which, by the way, my favorite Amari Stoudemire moment was that three-pointer to tie the game against San Antonio back in 2002. He might be. Oh, if I'm him, I'm pissed about that injury for sure. What are the chances Katie returns to the Warriors? I think very good. What think of people saying Book isn't that good this year? They're not watching the Suns. That's it. How much am I willing to pay Holmes this offseason to keep him? The $8 million they offered Alan Williams, like, yeah, around there, because he's better than Alan Williams. I'll tell you that. But I mean, he's an exciting young backup backup center / power forward. I like him a lot. It's hard not to like him, honestly. That kid is fun to watch. Now, going back to Kristaps Porzingis, though, if he is not re-signed, he is a restricted free agent. I max him, even with the injury. I max him. And just think if they maxed out him and he's signed, let's really smoke from the biggest, most beautiful pipe in pipe dream land. If they maxed him and he's signed here, and the Suns had the number 1 overall pick and got Zion, oh boy. I don't know who your point guard is, but man, that's a hell of a good front court. Yeah, I would take a chance, honestly. I would, and I would assume that is why he hasn't been maxed out or signed an extension is because of that. But I still I take that leap. I don't know, my friend. I have no idea. I would take PJ Tucker back. Yeah, I would as backup. But the thing is, you still have 3, so you can't, because he's got a player option for next year for $19 million that he's going to accept, hands down. Kemba took Mikal, Zion, and Kemba booked Mikal, Zion, and Ayton. Is it possible? Yeah. Oh, it's definitely possible. If the Suns have the number 1 overall pick, they're going to have the cap space, and they can max out Kemba and just see, So, yes, it's possible, but they need to get that first over. It's more likely they get Kemba Walker, I think, than Zion, but I would love them both. Who's getting paid 19? Oh, Goran Dragic is getting paid $19 million next year. He's got a player option for, I believe it's $19 million. I can double check here, but I'm pretty sure it's $19 million. Oops. PJ Tucker. No. PJ Tucker's 10, if I recall. I want to say it was a $3 or $30 million contract. Goran Dragic. Go to Basketball Reference, by the way. Look at Goran Dragic's picture. Goran Dragic's picture. It's funny. I feel like we are consistently waiting for that offseason where the Suns quickly turn this around. Well, I don't know what else to look forward to. I would love to have Goran back, but next year, player contract for $19.2 million. That's a player. He is not turning that down, because he is, 33? He'll be 33. Yeah, he'll never make $19 million again in his career. So he's going to take that, and I have no doubt in my mind. I think it's more likely that we get slowly better and Ellie and Melton gets better. Well, I hope they get better. You really think the Suns can get back to the number 1 pick? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the odds are in their favor. Obviously I wouldn't bank on it. I wouldn't necessarily bet on it either, but yeah, of course. All they have to do is have the 3rd worst pick, or 3rd worst record, and they have the best odds. Then one of them wins the starting spot. I think the NBA will screw us like they always do. Dragic just too old for the timeline. Oh, forget the timeline. The timeline's dead. Forget the timeline. Give me the best players possible. They didn't screw us last year, so why is Ayton not being aggressive enough down low and get in the foul line? The prevailing thought, I think, is that he's afraid of getting fouls. Why don't you want the number 1 pick? I want the number 1 pick. Give me the number 1 pick. I'll take the number 1 pick. You can have the number 2 pick. I'll take the number 1 pick. I want Zion Williamson. I want Charles Barkley 2.0 next to Shaq Booker 2.0 next to Clyde Drexler 2.0 or something like that. And for the other number 1 pick, it will get traded. Got a massive extension. Oh, Devin Booker is the timeline. Then Goran Dragic fixed the timeline because he's a good point guard. So if I'm the Suns and I get the number 1 overall pick, if we get the number 1 pick, it will be traded for Lillard. No, then I want Zion. Well, maybe. I want Zion. I really do. Okay, I'll say this. If the Suns get the number 1 overall pick and they have their heart set on insert name here, and they know that there's somebody that would trade up for number 1 to get, player B, I would go back if I knew that I could get player A. And so my reference point is the 1993 Orlando Magic. They had the number 1 overall pick, and the general manager knew he could get King's ransom for Chris Webber. So even though Shaq said, I don't want Chris Webber, go get me Penny Hardaway, the Orlando Magic drafted Chris Webber. Penny went 3rd overall, if I recall correctly. Well, Golden State wanted Chris Webber all along. So what does he do? He trades him for 5 first-round picks, if I recall correctly, and still gets, the Orlando Magic still got Penny Hardaway, and then an additional 5 first-round picks, one of which ended up being Vince Carter, by the way. So let me count. Okay, traded for 1, 2, 3 first overall picks. Sorry, he was traded for 3 first overall picks. Or 3 first-round picks. Ended up being Todd Fuller, Vince Carter, and Mike Miller. Mike Miller wasn't